This is how to turn all of your information that you gather into an actual informational paragraph, which is a bit like what news reporters do every day. I have chosen for my thesis statement, which is also my topic sentence, fake news on the internet has been shown to be a problem for students unaware of how to evaluate whether a source of information is credible. So in other words, research has shown that students are being tricked by fake news. They don't know what's real or what is fake. Although you guys are being taught about it, and hopefully that's not true for you. You have to have your minimum of 2 sources, and this is just a reminder that it's okay if you just cut and paste or copy and paste from the internet. However, put that in quotes. For example, this is just a quote from an internet source that is reliable, but I've put it in quotes and I've cited the author. If the author wasn't there, I would cite the article title and I would put that in quotes inside the parenthesis, and then my period comes at the end. Now, I didn't want to just slap down a quote. So what I did is I thought of a nice lead-in to it. I didn't feel I needed a transition for this one, and I added a lead-in, and this is how it went. It took me a while, but then I thought of a lead-in. And so I put instead, a Stanford University article sums up the problem in this way. And then I had my quote, education scholars say youth are duped by sponsored content and don't always recognize political bias of social messages. In other words, they're saying that kids believe what they believe if it's on Twitter or Facebook or someplace on the internet, it must be true. And the person who's posting that might want you to think a certain way or buy a certain thing, so they might be twisting the facts. Then I found this quote. There's my source. And you can always make it into a live link. You just copy the URL, and then that's when you can do your easy bib and get a works cited. So then, many people assume that because young people are fluent in social media, they are equally perceptive of what they find there, said Professor Sam Weinberg, the lead author of the report and founder of SHEG. Our work shows the opposite to be true. Well, I had to actually go back and read before that quote to see what they were talking about, what report. So often you'll have to go back, reread the article, or reread at least the stuff that comes before, through it, and after what you're quoting here to understand what it really means. Okay, so then I'll show you how I turned that into something that could make a paragraph. So I took this stuff and I did a transition and lead in. In the Stanford University article by Brooke Donald, and I'm referring to the one in the earlier box, Professor Sam Weinberg, the founder of the Stanford History Education Group, is cited as saying the following. And what I had to do with that is turn the 2 quotes into one with an ellipses. And because this person wrote it, but this person said it, that's why I had to do the lead-in like that. In the article by this author, this guy is cited as saying the following. So now I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need it anymore. So here's my next one. Fake news became so widely circulated, in fact, that it's estimated fake news stories out-circulated real news in the final month of the election. This is from a different source. And I thought to myself, I don't want to have all quotes here. I'm going to paraphrase. So that's what I did. So instead of this quote, I did kind of lead into it. Further evidence of the growing problem of fake news was provided by an online resource site for teachers. According to the Education World site, during the final months of the presidential election, there were more fake news stories in circulation than real news stories. And if you look back, I used plenty of my own words and didn't copy too many of their words. So now, I'm thinking to myself, well, I better do some of my own evaluating here. I better do some of my own writing. So I said, it is important that young people learn about how to spot bias, unreliability, and false information. They also need to learn to distinguish fact from opinion. Without learning these skills, teen readers may believe that just because information was tweeted or posted on Facebook, it must be true. Then I have my conclusive sentence. Once students are better able to evaluate social media and other internet sources of information to make sure that it isn't fake, they will be more able to make informed decisions for years to come. And that's my conclusive sentence. I really made every attempt I could to keep this article informational by looking up plenty of sources and cross-checking them to make sure that everything in my paragraph was true.